Alright, welcome back. So I'm back in the same spot where I was looking at Sophia. I've gone in, I've added my tracker, which is my class, which is right up here. It's reading block 1, 5th grade. So I'm going to kind of walk you around this page. So this may be a little bit longer video. I'll try to break it up into smaller ones so we can work piece by piece. I know the last one was a little bit longer than I liked. But you can always pause and stop at any time, explore around, and things like that. You don't have to constantly listen to me if you can kind of go through and play with it a little bit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you some of the key aspects of the trackers. Like I said, I spend about 95% of my time in this page when I'm not off looking for assessments or typing in data and things like that. That's where you can do a lot of it. It's going to come out of here. This is kind of your central page here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of walk us from left to right here. So I can go in and I can do my tracker list. So I click on that and it'll take me right back to my old tracker page. You could do it up here at the top. You could also hit the tracker page and it'll give you every single one of your trackers. Obviously these are my two math classes that I showed you last time. And then this is the one that I made for reading block 1 in 5th grade because most of the time they're departmentalized. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on that one. That'll take me right into it. It's already put all the GSE standards in there for me. So what I'm going to do is, since I know what ones that I want, and I'm just going to use the first RL standards right here. I'm going to use the first 5 since we have to have 3 to 5 essential standards. So that means that I'm not going to need to log unless you want to. Now I have all the standards on mine. I haven't worked on clearing a lot of them out just from going through and playing with it. But I'm going to take these first 5 here, and I'll do those here in a second. But I can go in, I can also look at my trackers here. I have these other active trackers, and I'll show you where you can, and the reason they say they're active is because you can archive these trackers as you're going through. So I have 3 active trackers now, one at the top, which is reading block 1, and then I have my 2 math ones this year. I haven't tracked anything for science and social studies this year since we're starting our CFA protocol mainly with math right now, since we had to have that done before January. So then I can go into my buttons. This is a really important one with the orange. This is where you can go in and add assessments to certain standards. You can view all your standards. You can go in there and they will actually give you a full definition. So instead of going through and clicking on all these for you, you can go through here and check them out yourself. But add assessment is a really important one. View standards. You want to make sure that you're getting up-to-date and current standards that you can that are up to date, that you're actually going to be administering the CFA zone for mastery for those kids. Add standard, since it already adds all the standards for you, and you take them, and we're going to be taking some out here on hopefully the next video. Is let's say I mess up and I take one off. Well, I can go back in and I can add single standards if I want to. So I can go in and do that. Classroom settings, we pretty much have it set up the way that we want to, unless you want to go in and you want to change pin numbers and you want to change like the lunch number over here for Thomas or something like that. You can go in there. Privacy settings, we went through that on the first page when we went through our profile and all that stuff. Email all parents, we also talked about that. I don't really deal with emailing all my parents because, like I said, I have the evidence. It's on here. I show it to them during parent-teacher conferences. They want to see it, how they're achieving mastery through the standards, and if they're going to be prepared for the next grade. Printing student reports is also important. I haven't printed our student reports yet because we still have a CFA to get, but it'll go in, it'll export the data, it'll go in, export the data out, and you'll be able to print it. And it'll be more in this format here if you print it out, and then your export here takes it to it's like taking off to like an Excel spreadsheet table type document, and then you can print it off that way, save it to your desktop or hard drive or however you want to do it. And then create a curriculum map. Most of us are going to be creating curriculum maps anyway that we're going to have through our CFA protocol, unit templates and stuff like that. I haven't used this a lot yet because we're still setting up our dates for our units. When are we going to give the next CFA? When's the next When's the end of the unit going to be done? When are we going to give CFA 2, CFA 3? When are we going to give the summative assessment? When are we going to give the second summative assessment if it's in 2 parts? And then you can also add collaborators down here. So what I would do is Miss Miller, who you saw on the first page, who I teach with, she also teaches 2nd grade math. I could add her as a collaborator and we could work with this together. Um, if I have an inclusion teacher and she's on here and she would like to collaborate or modify certain things for students who get accommodations or modifications on their work, then they can go in and you can actually have collaborators on here that can help you do some of the work and punching in and things like that. So really important button on this orange button, kind of gives you all your tabs that you want to do. Then right here, units. I don't have a new unit on here. Obviously, I haven't assigned any standards yet because this is my made-up class. I will assign standards as I go through, and those will be my CFA standards. It'll just be three to 5 standards. And then this little gem right here, this is launch Socrative. So what I can do is I can click on here, and I'll do this later in a shorter video. I'll show you a little bit about Socrative. But you can go in and you can click. Well, what the kids do is they go into Socrative, they put in, it gives them automatic feedback, and then what it will do is it will log in. If you link it to a standard on that page, it'll link it to the standard on Standards Mastery, and it automatically plugs in the grades for you. So that's a little bit about the top bar here. So you may want to check definitely some of these orange ones out. And on the next one, we'll go through and I will show you I'll show you this green tab down here and how we're going to get rid of some of our standards here to get down to our 3 to 5 essential standards.